Well, g'day hobbyists and welcome back to The Hobby, the podcast where we explore all things related to hobbies, passions, from trading cards to pop culture and everything else in between. As always, I'm your host, Dean Alsop, joined by the one and only, not from Kentucky, but he is the Colonel.
What's going on, Dino? What's happening, hobbyists?
Anybody else feel like a Zinger box right now?
I love KFC
Colonel
so
the
much.
KFC, how good is a Zinger box on a Sunday?
Mate, I love. You know what else I love outside of KFC?
Tell me.
Pulling big hits on live streams.
Wow, how would you know? You'd never do it.
I was about to pump your tires up for last week, but
Yeah. Well, that's because I pulled base set Zards and now I pull manga Luffy's. Oh man, that was wild. That was a nice Twitch stream for one of the homies, Matty Stanley, who's a big supporter of my streams. Been chasing a manga for quite a while, and we finally hit one, and we hit the biggest one you could hit from OP05 Manga Luffy.
What's the pull rates
on that?
Yeah,
2 bits of like impossible. Like it's so hard. Apparently, there's a manga per like every 2 or 3 cases. There's no real definitive indication.
Okay,
but that should be about the average. But then OP05 has 3 different mangas. Mm-hmm. It's got the Luffy, it's got the Kid, and it's got God, I can't remember who the other one is right now. Don't know.
Insert cricket noise.
Oh wait, that's it. That's not it.
That's not it.
Oh, that's not it either. There it is.
Jesus. What does it go for in a 10?
The manga Luffy,
yeah.
In a PSA 10, it goes for about $7,000.
Oof, that is a big card.
Recently, a black label sold for $19,789.
How clean is it?
It got sent to BGS, but it's not going to get a black label.
Okay,
I think it'll probably get a BGS 10 for Matty, which at that point it's still like I think $9,000. It's like $2,000 more than a PSA 10.
Huge.
So he's done well.
Awesome. I'm happy for him.
Earned his stripes.
He's been in the trenches looking for the manga for a while. So
yeah, you know what? We'll actually roll the clip from Twitch right now. Check this out. Rocinante. We did it. Yeah, so as you can see, like I basically crumbled.
Yeah.
I fell apart after that. You know what? I also didn't even we didn't stream any further after that. It had been like 2.5 hours into the stream and I was like, that's it. I'm going. I'm done.
In stream.
Yeah. We sat there for about 5-10 minutes really soaking it up and then I was like, yeah, nah, we're out of here.
Nah, I love it.
We're out of here.
Good work.
There was nothing else we could open or do that night that was going to top that. So I was like, let's just get on with our life.
It's a massive card.
Yeah, huge. So that's right, guys. Get over to TCG Nation Oz on Twitch and let me open your packs because unlike the Colonel, I pull the hits.
I wouldn't say that. I've had some good hits recently as well.
Have you?
Yeah, we opened a Topps Marvel box.
I don't care if it's a 1-on-1. Is it worth anything?
It's a 1-of-1. I couldn't tell you what the price is, but it's a sketch. Authentic sketch.
The Star Wars one was actually cool.
Topps Chrome.
Yeah.
Topps Chrome Star Wars is really good.
Anything Topps, man. Topps is elite. They make some really good stuff.
Yeah. Outside of that, haven't had much going on the streams in terms of big hits.
Yeah.
But it just means it's just building.
It's building,
for that one big stream. So
yeah, it happened, man. I've opened so much One Piece on stream for the punters, and we haven't been able to hit a manga yet, and then we did. And we didn't just hit a manga from any other set. We hit the best manga you can pull, which is Luffy, obviously. The poster boy for One Piece.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Congrats to you. Congrats to Matty Stanley. Congrats to everyone that was in that stream. That would have been awesome to be a part of.
Yeah. No, it was good. But without further ado, should we jump in today's news?
Love it. Let's do it. Dino, like always, we're going to start with a bit of Golden Watch. So I'm going to get you to help me out with a few of them today because I get to sit here and read all these amazing sales and cards that are going on, but you've also done a bit of research and went and had a look yourself. So I'll kick us off with sale number 1, $10,980 USD. It's a Gem Mint 10 Mitsuhiro Arita signed and sketched Charizard First Ed. This card is
First Ed?
insane. Yeah, First Ed.
What was the grade?
It says gem mint 10, but when I looked at the picture, I swear it was an 8. May have copied that one wrong. Anyway, whatever it
Here's
is,
the image.
it's a beautiful card. And we're not going to know this until post.
Because
But
a PSA 10 first ed Zard
it would be a lot more than
is
that.
350 grand on its own.
So what I'm going to say is
Without his signature.
It's probably an unlimited.
Yeah.
And there's just an error taken from the website.
Yeah. Well done, Colonel.
But even
live
then,
on the potty.
A PSA 10 Charizard would probably go for more than that, you'd think.
That's what I said. A first ed, a normal first ed Zard's like 15 grand Aussie
Yeah. It
in a
must be
PSA
an 8.
10, like an unlimited.
I don't know. Anyway,
Well-
there's the card. It's beautiful. And it sold for $10,980 USD.
Yeah, nice. Very nice. Well, unlike you, I've come a little bit more prepared and my information should be correct. So a 2020 Panini One Premium Patch Auto Blue Joe Burrow signed patch rookie card, numbered to 25 in a PSA 9, sold for 2,257 USD. Look, I'm not a fan of Joe Burrow. He's a quarterback for a team that I'm not going to say their name because I don't like them as a Steelers fan. But that's still a good result. That's still a good result for any card numbered to 25.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. He's still like a young player. You know, if he has a good career, can go a bit nuts.
Yeah.
But it was a 10, wasn't it? It was a mint 9.
No. That was a 9.
That was a mint 9. Okay.
Yeah, I think the auto got a 10.
Yeah. I did notice that there was more NFL cards going up as we start to get closer to the season
To the
starting.
season, up the Steelers. Let's go.
Yeah, so
Pittsburgh, baby. Who
there's
do
the-
you follow again? Don't you follow one of those really bad teams?
I actually follow the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, that's what I thought. A bunch of has-beens.
Get around Geno.
Get around Rusty Wilson, mate. New QB in, KP's gone. See you later, rookie nobody. It's time for the Steelers to, make hay while the rain shines.
Yeah, it works. So Russell Wilson to Pickett. What's up? Let's have a bet on the potty. How many touchdowns does Pickett get this year? How many is Russell Wilson throwing to him?
Where'd KP even go? KP's gone. He's not at the Steelers anymore.
No, he is.
No, he isn't.
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
No. Wow.
God, Kerncy's on one today, guys. This is unreal.
Jesus. Who am I thinking of? No, I don't know.
Kenny Pickett was our rookie quarterback that was meant to be an absolute belter.
Yeah.
And just couldn't handle the
He's
heat
not there
over
anymore,
the last
is he?
2 years. No, we brought in Russell Wilson, and I really hope that Kenny was going to just be his understudy to like really figure it out,
Yeah.
and then be our quarterback like
Yeah.
a Big Ben for so many years. But no, he got the shits, got his knickers in a knot, and he bailed.
He's out.
I can't remember where he went, but I don't care. I sold all my KP cards. I'm like, see you later, loser. Not interested.
Not interested.
Now it's all about Rusty Wilson.
Russ Wilson.
Yeah,
We can both live through him. We got a Super Bowl out of him, so it's your turn now.
yeah. That was actually the last time you guys were any good.
Jesus, we've been all right since then.
No, you haven't.
All right, so I've got a Panini One Downtown LeBron James, $2,178. It's not graded. It's just a beautiful card.
It's a beautiful card. Like, here it is. Like, have a look at this thing. It's unreal.
It is like just beautiful colors through it. Really nice.
The downtown cards that they produce in both NBA and NFL are phenomenal. I sold a Deshaun Watson in like an 8 on eBay for like $500 the other week.
Cool. Yeah. Deshaun Watson versus LeBron James.
Very different fields of expertise and human welfare.
Yeah, for sure. Jesus. I've got another one here for you. I've got a Joe Namath rookie card. It's graded a 3.
Joey Namath.
$1,892.
For a PSA 3.
Yep, 1965. So what's that like? 30, 57, 8 years old? 58.
What'd you work out in the end there?
58?
What did you say first?
I did the math through my head. I transitioned through the math. But that's any of those old school cards, I always love seeing the sales on those.
Yeah.
It takes a special type of person to keep a card like that in good condition.
Well, I'll round us out with a real good card, which is the 2000 Bowman TB12 collection. TB, obviously, Tom Brady.
The GOAT.
The GOAT. A Tom Brady signed, inscribed rookie card, numbered to 35, PSA authenticated, PSA 9, sold for $12,500 USD.
Pocket change.
If I could throw balls like Brady, I'd be
Yeah.
throwing a lot of balls.
He's very, very good.
Apparently, he's coming back.
He says he joked about it the other day.
And that's what he did when he joked about going to Tampa. And then he did. And then he joked about bringing back the Gronk and then winning the Super Bowl. And then they did.
Did you go see him when he came out here a few months ago?
No, I didn't. We meant to have dinner, but he bailed.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So
he
no, I
bailed
didn't get to catch him this time.
Yeah, I actually went out for dinner with him. I think he bailed on you to go see me.
What
so.
it must have been, yeah. He got us confused again. Come on, Braids. Lift your game, TB.
But yeah, 12,500. Good, really good sale. Beautiful card too.
Yeah, it's huge.
Really beautiful card. But that rounds out our golden auctions for this week.
Golden auctions, all right. Well, I'm gonna dive into. There's not much really on the news front at the moment in terms of things that are moving and shaking. We're kind of in that like that period in between sets for a lot of games. But One Piece is has just dropped or is about to drop OP08, which is their technically their 9th set coming out because there was EBO1. And look, it's not a real meta-defining set. It's not changing too much. It's got a lot of red cards, which is great because red has is one of my favorite colors to play out of the 6 and doesn't get a lot of love in terms of, like, we pick up a new card or two that are viable in the play scene here or there with every other set, but this one's angled a little bit more towards red, so I'm pretty excited about that. The manga chase is Rayleigh or Silver's Rayleigh, who's like this old like, pirate that tells stories about and stuff like that. So that's not really that exciting either. It's more about OP09, which will come out later in the year, which is the 2nd anniversary set. So that will mirror OP05, where they've got 5 mangas in that set. They've got 4 of the normal mangas and then a gold manga, which is the first time they've ever done that. So that'll be cool to sort of see. But yeah, on the other side, Sydney Regionals wrapped up probably 2 weeks ago, and RP Law won that, which is the deck that was competing sort of for the top spot when I was playing NL at the Melbourne Regionals. And that deck's about to be banned, or it should be banned by the time this episode comes out. So they've literally just banned that leader and said, you know what? It was probably too good. And when it came out, it wasn't anything special, but it says the game develops on and you've got to add other cards in to buff other things up. Sometimes you get a card that just takes too much advantage. And Bandai did the right thing and didn't come out and ban other cards. They just came out and banned the leader. And then what they did it with Sakazuki as well, is they will then just release a free promo that goes to all shops and everybody can pick it up. And it's just like an errated leader. Same leader, they just tighten up the ability.
Yeah.
So that's about all for Unpois, One Piece.
I love that. Before we do move on though, in our 2 episodes ago, we had our Disney D23 box launch.
Yeah.
And at 12 midnight, 1 a.m., you're sitting there in the middle of a car park playing One Pois.
Yeah.
How did that feel? Because
it felt pretty good because I was playing against a couple of guys that are like sweats, like guys. That's why they sat there and played One Piece for like 9 hours straight, right? That's what they do. They just crash decks and they're good. And I rattled a few cages, like of some of the big boys. It was good. It was fun. It was unreal that they were sitting there just playing One Piece, for 8 hours while we lined up for the D23 boxes. So yeah, it's a good community. The One Piece community, I really do love, and I can see it continuously growing at the moment, just with product availability being corrected by Bandai and it being available.
Yeah, for sure. I was very jealous watching you from the outside. I was like, damn, where's all the Flesh and Blood people at? Like, this would have been the best. But
yeah,
we're going to talk a bit of tops now. So this is a card set, which I've only recently heard of. And the reason I've heard of it is because they released a Team USA card after they won the gold medal in the recent Olympics. So the Olympics is just tied up. We're at time of filming, the Paralympics is currently on, so good luck to all the Aussies out there still competing in the Paralympics. But the Olympics has finished up and they released a Team USA card. So it's got Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Steph Curry on it. Now,
Huge.
huge. Retail on this card was $8, $8 USD a card.
11.95 AUD.
AUD, yep. So $8 USD, and 588,000 of these cards got ordered or / made. But what they did is they do what all good TCGs do.
Yep.
Is they sprinkled in a little bit of a chase for the collectors out there.
Yeah.
And they did a one of one, like a logo man style auto with the 3 signatures on it.
Yep.
And
so the logo man, for you guys that don't know, is a patch card, but it's a specific patch of the NBA logo that they have on their jersey.
Yep.
So they've got all 3 of those. So obviously there can only be one of them because they all only have one jersey.
Yeah. So you roll a 588,000 sided die for this one card. But
but the way they're doing it, right, correct me if I'm wrong, Kearns, is of all the people that ordered it, one person will get the normal card plus that. Just randomly inserted somewhere, somehow.
Yep.
Which is insane.
It's crazy.
It's wild.
I tried to go online and get us a few packs so we could open a pack each.
Yeah.
And they were sold out. I couldn't order them by the time,
I think they sold out before they said they were going to put the chase in as well.
Yes.
Because it's the first time that LeBron and Steph, I think, had been on a card together.
Yeah.
I think that was a big thing. And even at 588,000 of them, that's still not many of those cards. If it grades well and you've got one and who knows what happens to the rest. I mean, that's a card that you would want. I still probably wouldn't mind trying to pick one up.
Yeah. It's the cool thing about it is similar to what we experienced in Magic when we had the One Ring, where people would come out with $1 million bounties, etc.
Yeah.
A lot of really big collectors came out and stated, if you pull the one of one, I'll buy it for $1 million, whatever. Giannis Antetokounmpo actually came out and said he'd offer double what anyone else would pay for it. So he, Giannis, he's obviously one of the best players in the NBA, one of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
And he came out and said, I want that card. I'll pay double what anyone else offers.
Yeah.
So we could have Post Malone owning the One Ring and then Giannis owning this one-on-one.
That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. I'm surprised even Steph or LBJ didn't come out and just say, because LeBron, I'm pretty sure, buys a lot of his own cards as well. He has a collection of his cards for his kids or something like that. I'm pretty sure. I'm not. Don't quote me on it. I think I heard that about him.
Future guest on the Hobby Podcast.
I mean, yeah.
He's a collector. He fits the bill.
He fits the bill. He fits the bill, doesn't he? Yeah, he'll come on. I'm sure if we send him an email, he'll be like, yeah, boys, anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime. But that's pretty wild because I know even Ken Golden, I think, put one out. Friend of the show, Ken Golden. We're very excited to have him on in the future. But he put one out and said, I'll give you 150 grand cash for nothing. You can keep the card.
Yep.
I'll give you 150 grand cash. We'll grade it and then sell it on Golden, and you would take all the proceeds for the card as well.
Yep. And
so you get
go on an episode.
And an episode of King of Collectibles.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is insane. So for them, it's pure marketing. They're going, all right, we're going to pay you 150 grand. And then we're going to grade your card and sell it and give you all the money as you normally would on our website or on our platform, just so that they could be the ones to sell it. And I love that about Ken. That's what Ken wants, right? Ken does that. Ken cuts deals to make sure that his platform is the one selling the cards. Yep. Hence why we talk about the golden auctions, because they're the leaders in that market, in that space. They're doing what they need to be doing.
We're bringing you cards of some of the biggest sales around the world that happen weekly on that platform.
Yeah, literally weekly.
Yeah. Before we do move on, I just want to also let you know that there was other variations of numbered cards as well. So you've got numbered to 199, 99, 49, 24, 10, and 5. And then all those numbers vary. So there's not just the one chase, but there's also numbered across the board. So you could imagine are those other ones just different refractors, or are they different patches? Yeah, so they're parallel refractors, whereas the original card is just a common, not holographic. So pearl, black, blue, stars and stripes parallel to number to 24. That would be really cool.
Which is the stars and stripe one is red, white, and blue. They do that in Prism.
Yeah,
which is Panini, not Topps, but they still do it.
That would be a good one to get. So all of those cards would still be massive chasers. as well. So just something cool.
Nah, very cool.
Pokemon. So
We haven't had a Pokemon update for a while.
I know it's because it's always just been Scarlet and Violet sets, not much going on.
Scarlet and Violet sets are starting to pop off though.
But we just spoke to Charlie. We know all about it.
Yeah. Well, you know what we didn't talk about, and I'm just going to do. Well, let's just have a quick discussion about it before you dive into it. Like there's always a bit of drama, I think, in the Pokemon community about just there's always something going on, and the UPC 151 UPC scandal that happened over, probably 2 weeks ago at the time this goes out. It's just like, man, sometimes when I see that stuff, it's just so disappointed. And I'm not saying I'm disappointed about the people that are necessarily scalping or buying the product, but it's also the way the community reacts to that. Like the reality is the value of those boxes is probably $200 to $250, which is what the market was happy to pay. Then you have this corporate behemoth called Costco that just happens to get pellets and drop them at $150. That doesn't mean the value's $150, and it doesn't mean if somebody's selling them for $200, you've been robbed.
Yeah.
Just because someone is able to go there and buy them and you may or may not be able to, doesn't open them up for the kind of ridicule that I've seen across Facebook pages.
Yeah.
And it just really irked me, man. It just really disappointed me to see the way that humans treat other humans in situations over $50 on a box of Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of people out there that really need to just like shape up. I was really, really disappointed.
Yeah, that mob mentality of just jumping onto someone's back. It's always the worst side of the hobby.
Here's the deal, right? You didn't miss out, or you weren't robbed, or nobody robbed you because they went and bought something before you could buy it.
Yep.
You never had it in your possession and they didn't take it off you.
Yep.
Therefore, you did not lose anything and they haven't robbed you. That's not the way the world works, right? Like, it's just, man, I see it. The good thing is I don't see it as much anymore as we did once upon a time in the Pokemon world. But, yeah, that just really just irked me, man. It just upset me to see, like the mob mentality and people going after people. Like, I just don't like it. It just sets the wrong idea and the wrong precedence for the next generation.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I'm just not about it.
Yeah.
So people just really need to just think before you speak.
Yeah.
Have a look at yourself.
Well said. Well said. You're not a big person because you jump in behind 100 other people on something like that. Yeah. Set your alarm an hour early and go down to Costco before they open and get your box.
Man. Like we lined up for 12 hours to get D23 boxes for ourselves.
Yeah.
Right. And if there was a limit of 2 and if there was no limit, I probably would have bought, honestly, maybe 4.
Yeah.
It's probably that would be enough for me.
Yeah.
And there was people there that paid other people to stand in that line. Some guy left with like 60 of them.
Yeah.
I don't go on Facebook and beat the crap out of him for the next 40 days, right? Like
you could have offered 10 of your friends $150 each, come stand in line.
Yeah, it's just the outcry and the way people behaved after that, man. I was like, people really. I'm gonna say what I'm saying because people need to hear it. Like, just grow up a little bit.
Yeah. Well said, mate.
But anyway, back on the Pokemon, there's a lot to cover with like what's coming out and what's just happened.
Yeah, for sure. Let's start with Pokemon ZA. So this is the new RPG game that's coming out. It's coming out 2025. So it's it's kind of like based in the city of Kalos. Right. The city of Lumiose in the Kalos region. And it's originally from the XY games. Okay. It's going to be a little bit like open world type scenario.
I might actually have to get back into Pokemon.
Yeah. I've seen
is it only on Switch being a Nintendo thing? I'd imagine it is.
I couldn't tell you.
It'd have to be.
They're always just on Switch, aren't they?
They'd have to be, I'd assume.
But this game was announced earlier in the year, but it's only just as we're starting to get closer to release, we figured we'd kind of bring it up.
What's the release date, sorry?
It's early 2025. So
it's not even this year.
No, so we just had Pokemon Worlds in Honolulu where everyone was sitting there licking their lips going, all right,
we're going to the next Pokemon Worlds.
Whoa, there you go.
It's in the US.
We're there. It's in
is it in California?
Is it the same time? Like, is it always the same time every year?
I'd assume so.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So we've got a bit of time to prepare for it.
Yeah, well, I need to go to Texas next year anyway. Totally off topic, sorry.
But yeah, so it is. It's scheduled for early 2025.
Yeah.
There's been a bit more content in terms of people reviewing the trailers that have come out and the gameplay examples. It's like, if I could explain it, it looks a little bit like
Power World.
like Grand Theft Auto,
GTA.
but in Pokemon.
Hell yeah,
It's
I
all
like
set.
that.
It's all set within the city, like
Yeah.
a massive city complex. It's like Pokemon, humans living like coexisting type thing. It's probably a game worth getting into, I think.
Yeah.
So I think
I think it's about time I make my Pokemon video game return.
Hey, there you
I think
go.
the last game I would have played would have been like Crystal or Emerald.
Yeah,
Like that would have been it. What come out after those?
Crystal and Emerald.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not Sword and Shield. No, Crystal and Emerald.
Yeah, I don't know. I was a Gen 3
Black and white.
generation.
Black
yeah,
and
see,
white.
that's it. Yeah, no, never played those.
Black and white.
Never played those. It would have been Emerald and Crystal, and that would have wrapped it up. And then there's been a lot of games. I almost jumped in when that Legend of Arceus game came out.
Yeah.
Because people were loving it and talking about it. And I was like, oh, that actually looks really cool. Maybe I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
And I didn't because I'm an Xbox player. But yeah, if you're telling me this is Grand Theft Auto but Pokemon,
It looks really cool. It
know.
looks really, really cool.
we might. We're looking at sort of changing up the TCG Nation Oz Twitch channel. Maybe we could just get some game nights in, bro.
That'd be dope. I'd totally be down for that.
Yeah, 100%.
Totally be down for that.
100%. Heard it here first, guys. Scoop. Video game streaming coming.
They may not have spoken about Pokemon ZA, but what they did talk about was the new Pocket app that is coming out October 30th. So that's online gameplay, that's collectible, that's pack openings. It's the new Zhush Kebab. Zhush Kebab? Zhush Kebab.
Oh my
The new
god.
Zhush Kebab of Pokemon. I don't even know what that means. Anyway, let's just run with it for the sake of it.
Yeah.
The app itself, like you can go online, you can look through like what they've shared. Looks really cool. You know, like the code cards used to get
in packs.
In packs, yeah. This is their new iteration of
Zhush
that.
kebab.
Zhush Kebab. So that's going to be pretty exciting. We'll probably have to do a bit of reviews on that.
Yeah, for sure.
I think when it drops. So another thing as well is they spoke a little bit about upcoming sets and the return of Pokemon owners in cards.
Yes.
So there was the preview of Lily's Clefairy, Marnie and Grimstyle, and the N and Reshiram, like that gorgeous full art.
Yeah, it looks so good.
So, you know, a tip of the hat back to trainers.
Those are cards they're going to actually make, though? Or are these some of those cards that they were talking about will be exclusive just to the app?
I'm not sure. I believe it's back into the physical TCG.
Yeah, because I was talking to somebody. I showed them like those Latios and Latias cards that are coming out in like that dragon set.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, I'm pretty sure they're just exclusive to like the digital version of the app. I'm like, no way, dude. No chance.
Wow. It'd be a good way to push people to the app, I suppose.
Not really.
You don't think it wouldn't be enough for you to download the app
Nah.
to chase it?
No.
No, okay. Fair enough.
Nah, I'd be downloading the app for its purpose of gameplay and accessibility and things like that.
Yep.
You know, even like we discussed with Charlie last week, or last episode, tangible cards. We're from that generation. We're not from the digital only generation. And I don't think I could ever get around just the digital only aspect of being a collector.
Yep.
That's why I never got into NFTs, and look where those are. So, you know.
No way. No, I gotcha. There's also a lot of excitement around the upcoming possible Team Rocket set next year.
It's not possible. It's happening.
Yeah. And
There's been leaks by the Pokemon company, the Rocket logo with the Mewtwo in it. Like, it's happening. Now, how it looks, we don't know. I've heard whispers that in the Japanese iterations of the sets, the trainer Pokemon and the Rocket set will be two separate sets. Then when it releases in English, it'll be one set.
Crazy.
Which would be mind-bending.
Save my
as
pennies.
An English Pokemon set.
Save my pennies.
Well, you've just learned how to invest correctly, courtesy of Charlie in the last episode. So now might be the time to buy yourself a case and store it here if you want.
It's not a bad job.
Because then that way I know it's safe.
Yeah, you won't open it.
No,
The last,
and you can't open it.
yeah, out of sight, out of mind.
I literally make you sign a contract saying you can't pick it up till like 2028.
Yeah,
Like, you're not having it.
I'd be down. I'd sign the contract, to be honest. It's easy. The last bit of Pokemon news I have is at the time of filming, we're currently in the middle of Stellar Crown pre-release, so the latest Pokemon set. Haven't had too much of a look at it. I kind of going into this one wanting to open some packs and be surprised by the cards. So if you at the time, go check it out. Go look at some of those cards that you want to do. See
It should be out. By the time this episode drops, Stellar Crown should be out.
It should be out.
Because it's pre-release right now. That means in 2 weeks it'll be out, which is when this episode basically will be out.
Yeah, and I saw a spoiler of 2 cards. And then I was like, you know what? I kind of want to enjoy this set, take the surprise of it. So
I don't know if I've called you out on this on the podcast, but remember when Twilight Masquerade was about to come out? And we looked at the Eevee card and you said, oh, yeah, it's a nice card, but it's only going to be like a $20 to $30 card.
It's like $150, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's doing like $400 to $600 in a PSA 10.
Yeah, crazy.
So just put your hand up right now and say I was wrong.
I was wrong.
Thank you.
I'm not the Pokemon expert.
Nope. But yeah, and then there's another set coming out, right? Like Surging Sparks. People are really getting around that. It's Pikachu with the crystal crown on it.
Yeah. The crowns.
Yeah, so that's happening. There's a lot happening. I've got more interest in what's coming out in Pokemon between now and say February than I've been interested in since
18 months.
Evolving Skies.
151.
Silver Tempest. 151 has been great, but I haven't collected any of it.
Yeah.
I hold a small sealed position of some products, but that's it.
Yeah.
Like it's I don't know. Pokemans. All right, Kearns. Well, that brings us to today's main topic. We have touched on this briefly in a past episode. It is the discussion around CT scanning. I shrugged it off the first time we spoke about it. And I'll happily put my hand up and admit that. I sort of said, things like weighing packs have come in and out of, whatever, and changed things, but never really changed things. And nobody's going to send cards to the US and blah, 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 and do this and do that. Since then, me being just the digger that I am, continued to indulge myself in further information and look into content that's been created around it, people that have done case studies, and an interview with somebody from the company themselves discussing all this. So I thought it was probably worth having another chat because I feel like the stance that I had the first time is not the stance that I have now, and I wanted to just put that out there.
Yeah,
because
one of the big reasons around us revisiting it is the accessibility of it is actually a lot more than what we thought.
It's not even, it is. It actually is. It's being utilized more than people had assumed it would be. And it's like anything in the tech space, it starts small. And then as it grows and gets bigger, it becomes more refined, more educated, but also cheaper and more accessible. And that's what we're already starting to see. So for anybody wondering, the company in question that has basically put out to the masses from the TCG company saying that they will do CT scanning is a company called Industrial Inspection and Consulting LLC. So you're welcome to visit their website. They offer a variety of different services, and this is CT scanning Pokemon cards is not their main one. These guys operate in the medical field and the aerospace and aeronautical fields. They offer industrial CTC scanning services, digital X-ray, 3D scanning, reverse engineering, 3D printing, and DT consulting, dye penetrant testing services, ultrasonic testing, film and image review, magnetic particle testing, visual testing, and then collector card CT scanning services. So really interestingly, for one, you can't go after the company because they do everything else under the sun. And funnily enough, in the interview that I watched with the team member from that company, they discovered that they could CT scan trading cards by accident. They were literally talking about how can they scan a certain type of blister pack in the medical field, and somebody in their company said, oh, why don't we just try it, just see if we can scan this. I got one of these, and it was a Pokemon pack. And they did it. And what they realized was what we now know, is that it can be done, and it can be done very effectively in certain aspects, and we'll sort of get to that. But I think it warrants a genuine, real discussion because it is going to change the landscape. It doesn't mean the landscape is going to remain the same. Manufacturers will have to step up and things will change, and it'll form something like weighing packs does moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. I think, do you want to talk a bit around probably the type of products and bucket them into moving forward things that we do see maybe getting scanned and what we don't?
Well, let me take you to the landing page on their website, right? Basically, what they say is they're introducing the world's first CT scan certified hit packs, factory sealed hit packs. So there's conversations around this saying that big breaking companies and things like that, like big breakers and streamers over in the US, the guys that do all the sports cards and stuff, have already been doing this for years anyway. And they've known about it. And that's why probably a lot of the breakers are the ones that pull these big logo mans and all that sort of stuff, because it's been happening for years. Now, this company came across it by accident and then said, well, why don't we just offer the service so that everybody has access to it and not just a certain type? But on their landing page for that, in big bold letters, it does say that first we made public what's been happening in secret. Now we're bringing X-ray vision to the masses. Quickly, affordable, and reliable. Another interesting point too is that there's a paragraph here that I'll read, and it says that their company is partnering with industry manufacturers and sellers to produce and sell the world's first CT scan certified, factory sealed, custom slabbed products.
Wow.
So I don't know who they're working with, which company it is, but there's a potential. Basically what they're saying is in the future you can send a booster pack, a base set booster pack. It's got an Alakazam in it, hollow.
You get it graded.
And they basically will grade and certify that booster pack as a heavy base set $19.99 booster pack with a foil Alakazam inside it.
Crazy. I don't mind it. If I'm honest with you, I don't mind it.
Look, I think it's really interesting. I think that might be the first time that a lot of people hear of it, and I think in the future you will see a lot of it.
Yeah.
Now that is because up until now, manufacturers haven't had to do anything to avoid this happening.
Yep.
Post this, products coming out in the future in the next 30, 40 years wouldn't fall into this category. But this might be the future of sealed vintage products. And we'll dive a bit more into that. I just wanted to run through their processes, because the other thing too that people ask is, well, how do you know if you send them a base pack and they scan it and find a Charizard in there and then send you back just some other base pack that we had that they had that looks the same? They actually have really strict processes. So you email their sales team with what you've got. They will then send you a formal quote, because currently the only two quotes they have is for booster packs. It's $75 USD to scan a booster pack, and then they'll send you a file with the imagery, and you've got to go through the imagery yourself. Or you pay $75 USD plus $15 USD, so $90 US, and they'll scan it and they'll review the file and tell you what's in there. They can do booster boxes in cases, but it is price on application, basically. So they'll send you a quote and instructions for shipping and payment link. Upon receipt and payment, the product will take a few days. Receive, download your images, scan file, blah, 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 blah. So I don't actually stipulate in there what I found out today when I watched the interview with Brad from that company. And he pointed out that what they want you to do, and they stipulate it apparently in the instructions that they email you, is you've got to put the product in a sealable bag and then put a serialized void sticker on there, basically, and take a video and or a photo of it, and you send it to them, and they scan it in that bag with that seal on it. They don't remove it. And then they send it back to you. So they literally don't handle the physical product itself. They just take it in the bag that they tell you to send it in with the seal on it. They scan it and do all that and then send it back to you. So you don't have to worry about, them scamming you. That's not their prerogative. Their prerogative is to scan for you, not to scam you.
Yep.
So yeah, it's really interesting. It's one of those things that it's here to stay. I watched them scan a Charizard and find a Charizard in the base pack. They pulled sports cards. They did that. I saw a video of. So this is where it gets really sort of dangerous, right? And this is credit to a streamer on Instagram. He's sort of been going after this for a while and put up some information. Things like Flawless. Flawless in sports is this briefcase-looking product that usually has 3 big cards in it. And it's usually the product where you pull like, $1 million cards out of. Somebody sent a Flawless case. We don't know who. He didn't attribute to who it was, to the company. And they were able to scan the case and could tell exactly which cards were in there, what serialization number they were, who the player was, the patch was, and the autograph. Everything. So you could buy a $10,000 box, US, figure out that the cards in there are worth like $3,000, and then just either on-sell it sealed for $10,000 or sell it to a breaker or whatever and let them do whatever. Or you could realize it's got $1 million card in there, get it back, crack it open, and make your money. That is the scary part.
Yeah. Even as we're talking through it now, that's the scariest part is that really high-end product, that product that's been in the market now for years that doesn't have, anti-scan in the packet. Because if you've got a $10,000 pack there and you pay $75 USD to get it scanned, you could have $500,000 in there, or you could sell your pack for $10,000. So that's where, that's probably where my concern is in that real high-end market. If you're talking a $6 Pokemon pack, I'm still not concerned with that market.
No.
It's
really not. It really leans into high-end sport.
Yeah.
And vintage when you're looking at Pokemon.
Of course.
For sure.
Even as a breaker, if you were to sit there and go, I got a case of Evolving Skies and I want to know if there's a Moonbreon or a Rayquaza in there. If it's $76 a pack, a booster box has 36 packs in it. They probably don't charge 36 times.
No,
but
it's probably a bulk rate, but it still would be expensive.
The scan of the case would probably still cost the price of the Moonbreon.
Yeah.
And I just don't see a world at the moment where that is viable. But again, if you're talking a $400,000 baseball pack from 1926.
Or if you're talking about a $250,000 US first edition Pokemon booster box.
Yeah.
Absolutely, you're sending it off.
Yeah. You got 2 Zards in there. You might have none.
Yeah.
You might have one of those broken boxes.
Yep.
So that's definitely where it lies. Streamers.
You're probably not going to send it off from Australia.
No.
But in the US, you probably would, because in one of the reels that I did see, there was another reel made about it, and it was people commenting on it and a couple of shops commenting on it, basically admitting guilt to the fact that, they've utilized this service and sent product off.
Yeah.
Now, what they did with that information afterwards, obviously we don't know, but it goes to show that it is happening.
Yeah.
People are doing it.
I really liked what you said before about the interview where Brad from the company spoke about what's kind of on the own, like the manufacturers now, they have to come up with a method to showcase that an item has been scanned.
Yeah. We'll get to that too, because I got some notes about that as well.
Yeah.
Because he discusses that. It was interesting. I saw another quick touch point. The PSA, the CEO of PSA, Nat Turner, he did an interview and he also shared his thoughts about it basically being a disruption, and it's going to, and leaning into what you've just said, which I said we'll discuss, it's now putting the onus again back onto manufacturers and how that is going to change moving forward, because the fact that CT scanning is only going to become more and more available now, the vintage market will look different. It will look different. There's no if, buts, or maybes about it. You literally can't say anything otherwise. I'm not saying that anybody with a vintage box is going to CT scan it, right? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is anybody with a vintage box could CT scan it, and people will CT scan it, but not everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So, it just changes things. Like we opened a base set booster box that was case fresh and it had a Zard in it. It was great. We gave it away. It was phenomenal. But we didn't know what was in there.
No.
You know what I mean? That Zard came out in like the last third too. Like, we were kind of like, man, it's not going to be a Zard box. And then old Hot Hands Dino over here is like, there it is. But, so it's here to stay. It is happening. I know we touched on it briefly even when we spoke to Charlie in the last episode. And again, it was sort of somewhat kind of shrugged off like how I'd felt previously. But after putting myself out there and educating myself on the topic a lot more, obviously it led us to here to discuss it because I think it is going to hang around. Now, I've got some notes here directly from that Brad Callis, Brad, the interview from the company that he had online, the only one that I was able to find. And he just addressed a few things that people had questions for. So obviously CT scanning involves radiation and people were curious, like if I get my stuff scanned and, am I at any risk of radiation exposure? The answer to that question is no, you are not. It's not that intense. So you can get your product scanned and, get it back and not worry about that. Foil packs, which is what most packs come in now, is some sort of, foil variation, not Pokemon, but a lot of sports packs and stuff do. And old wax packs, how they used to just put cards in and wrap the wax around it. Those types of products don't stop the scanning process. It can still get through that exterior pack and is able to pick up what's in there. The interesting thing though is it's easier to scan what we now produce as opposed to what we used to. So anything kind of prior to 1990, before they introduced foil, different embossments and serialization and things on cards is actually really, really hard to scan. So unless there's that kind of, what would you say, like that kind of detailing on there, it's really hard to decipher exactly what the cards are. So if you've got an old pack of Magic cards and it could be, there could be a Black Lotus in there, because a Black Lotus is the same cut color combination as all the other cards. It's not foil, it's not shiny. It's actually really hard to decipher that through the packs. So the images and the case studies, the videos that I was watching, the way it kind of flashes through, it really only picks up those things that stand out. So even with basketball cards, it picks up like the silhouette of the player.
Yeah, like the outline of their shoulder.
Yeah, and then you sort of see the position that they're standing in, or it picks up the serialization because it's embossed into the card. So it's a different in texture and depth in the actual card itself. And same with foiling patterns like on Pokemon cards. So, if it's a light pack and there's no foil in there, it's actually really hard to decipher. That's how they would easily just go, well, there's no hit in there. They can't exactly tell you what is in there, or they can, but it's not very easy to tell you exactly what cards are in there. It's about it actually picking up the difference of what's in there, and that's how they sort of decipher it. So I found that really interesting. So old Magic cards are kind of safe. It was anything from he prefaced 1990 sort of around there is when things started to change.
Yeah, right. Well, that kind of debunks a little bit the point I made earlier about the early baseball cards. Like in the 1920s and 30s, they are just stock standard cardboard, no texture on those. So they'd actually be really hard for them to scan.
Correct.
And they'd have to, I still imagine they'd probably figure it out, but it's maybe just not as obvious.
Yeah, I mean, well, he was saying that no, he's like they were almost kind of safe. Yeah. Like it really is really, really hard. It's really this modern sort of embossment and texture and foil and all that that is what's made it stand out, or what makes it stand out. So it's easy to sort of tell what is in there. he discussed a point of how companies could possibly protect against it in the future. So I found this really interesting. Like I said, this company isn't out there to destroy the hobby. It wasn't their intention.
It's like 55th on their radar.
They stumbled across something and they've offered a service, and that's it. And they're explicitly talking about, ways that the manufacturers can try to avoid the profitability in CT scanning in the future. Because again, that's not their main business model, right? They didn't start this company to scan Pokemon packs. I've ran through the services earlier. They make them plenty of money. They don't need to do this. So he discussed protect against in the future, utilizing certain materials that under radiation changes color or form so that secondary market is then aware it's been scanned, and protects against buyers being sold dud packs. So he used a really cool analogy. He was basically like, as a human being, when you go to the beach and you don't put sunscreen on, the radiation burns you. You get burnt. And you come back and everybody's like, you got sunburnt yesterday. Ha! You didn't put any sunscreen on. So manufacturers now need to look at ways that they can seal their products or seal their booster packs so that if it is undergoes some form of, direct radiation, that either a little image on the pack changes color or the whole pack changes color. They're like, all the packs will be red, and if any one of them gets scanned, they turn blue.
Yep.
So then that way,
it's been scanned.
So that way you can't get done. Right? So you can go scan whatever you want to scan, but you then, when you don't get the necessary result you want, you can't go dump it onto somebody else.
Yeah.
Because they know.
It's so great to hear them talk about that, because it's kind of shooting their own business in terms of the trading cards in the foot. They're like, here's a solution you could have where people aren't going to use our service.
Yeah.
Which makes people not want to go.
No, but people will still use the service. All it really means is that people can't use the service in ill-mannered ways.
Yeah.
Where people can't go, I didn't get the desired result I want. I'm now going to go dump this product on somebody else because I know something they don't know.
Yeah.
It takes out the, disingenuous people and removes them from being able to milk that from, genuine collectors and buyers.
A hypothetical. Base set light pack, $400, heavy $900. It gets scanned and it doesn't have the Charizard. And what do you pay? Terms of
this is what I'm saying though, right? We can't attribute this conversation to existing product because that's never going to change.
I know, but I'm talking like hypotheticals here. The Moonbryon of 2025. It's $400 in a light pack or $900 in a heavy. The pack gets scanned and then is on the secondary market. There's no Moonbryon in there. What do you reckon price wise is like a fair? Well, it's still a heavy, so it could have one of the other hollows in there.
Yeah,
but it's not going to be the big one.
Well, at that point, you as a buyer know that pack's been scanned and they have the data and they should tell you what's in there. And then that will dictate the value of that pack.
That's really good honesty, but people wouldn't do that.
Well, then people won't buy it.
Yeah.
And then you can open the pack and be like, you lied to me. So you record it and it's that easy. Like, it does eliminate a lot of things. And I think it's I'm almost like more for it the more we talk about it, because you can't escape it now. It's out there. It exists. It only took one company to put it up, make it public, and it's out there. And here we are talking about it, and it ain't going away. It's going to expand over time for sure, especially if people have already been doing it in, secret for years.
Yeah.
So, because let's look at One Piece, for example, right now. Their booster boxes are seeded, much like, a lot of booster boxes, like even Pokemon ones are kind of seeded. You know what I mean? You know how many hits you're going to get in there. But, if you pull say 2 or 3 hits out of a One Piece box and you're 10 packs in, that the other 12 or 24 or 12 or 14 packs don't have any hits. They still have other great cards and some other playable cards, but they don't have the chance of any of those big hits. And if a One Piece pack is usually $9, then those what they call dead packs sell for like half that, $4 to $5, because they're still cards, they're still playable, but it just takes away the chance of hitting the big card.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that will be a lot more relative as well to, CT scan dead packs.
Yep. No.
Because you're not getting cards, right? You're just taking away the chance at a big card.
Big hit.
So the premium comes off and you go probably below what a wholesale price is of the booster pack. I think that's sort of where that lands.
Yeah, it makes sense. Has he spoken about it all, about how many cards, TCG things they have scanned? Is it a service that they're now?
he said that it's popped off. So I think I had it here. Somewhere it actually said. So here, listen to this, right? They've got an update from the 3rd of August, 2024. We are aware of and working through the moral dilemma of CT scanning sealed collectibles. Our objective position is one of scientific ability and data-driven results. It's not our responsibility to determine the ethical positions and choices of others, and we do not accept responsibility for their actions. We have brought awareness to the entire industry of the existence and capabilities of this technology. It is up to individuals to make informed decisions moving forward. In light of information we have received from industry insiders, we believe companies are using technology in secret to take advantage of the collectibles market. We are making this technology accessible to everyone rather than to just a minority. We are working on policies to combat deceptive practices. We are working on partnering with manufacturers to develop packaging security solutions. We will continue to consider every request we receive. This technology is here to stay, and there will probably be additional companies offering it as a service at some time in the future. The majority of requests we have received have been from people curious about the value of their 30-year-old collectible and if this is their opportunity for a life-changing moment. There was also another thing I wanted to read. Here we go. If you haven't heard, we are able to identify holographic cards inside unopened card packs. See the initial case study that garnered significant attention. If some people have access to this technology, you should too. It's what's fair and the next logical step. How do we know? Because of the explosion of interest we've received between calls from reporters, endless requests to scan packs, boxes, and cases from collectors, investors, card stores, and auction houses, and a 28,000% spike in traffic to our website, the demand is clear. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It makes complete sense.
And that's why we're sitting here talking about it, because it's real.
Yeah.
It's real, man. It's real. So going back to Brad's interview, when asked if he felt like this was cheating or ruining the hobby, he answered he ties it to pack weighing and when that came in and the hobby and it disrupted the true random factor of opening packs, etc.
Yep.
And that's kind of what I've said, and you've sort of said, and we've agreed that that's kind of what this is. It's the next disruption now.
For sure.
Is now that, we got to a point where we realized, okay, you can weigh packs to know where the hits are. And now we're at a point where technology can scan packs to tell you what the hit is.
Yeah.
And it can't go really any deeper than that, to be fair, until manufacturers find out a way to stop it. And then new technology finds a way to beat that.
Yeah.
That's just called progression, guys. That's just what happens in life. Like, it is what it is.
Is there anything in your collection that you're thinking of sending off to trial it?
Nah. If I had like, I think it's 2012 Panini Prism had the Kobe rookie autos in them. It's 2012.
Maybe like 2002.
2002. I think it's 2002.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Like, I don't know. I don't even know if a company in Australia did it and they were around the corner and I wanted to see actually how it works. Maybe.
Yeah.
Like maybe take a pack, but I don't have anything. Like,
yeah.
I've got sealed cases of product and boxes, but I don't have sealed cases of like first edition Pokemon boxes.
Yeah.
Or sport flawless cases. I mean, it's really hard to say because I find it very intriguing. But at the same time, yeah, I mean, I definitely would never, ever, and hand on heart, people that know me, I would definitely never do it in some kind of malice way to see if there was anything good in it. And if it was trash, then just on-sell it.
On-sell it, yeah.
Like, nah, not my style, bro. I can't sleep at night with that kind of stuff. So no chance. But I think it would be cool to see if it works. You know what I mean? After watching all these videos and case studies, like, it could be real.
Yeah, for sure.
But, you know, like, I'd probably honestly send a pack off and go, all right, scan it, tell me what's in it, then come back here, make the content, and open the pack and see if it was every single card or like it was what they said it was.
Yeah.
To see if it really does work.
Then
when manufacturers move down the line and say it can't be done, then you would try it to see if it can't be done.
Yeah, the hobbies also had, in terms of different TCGs having mapping as well, which you've had to deal with. So you buy a case of One Piece and all the leaders are in the bottom of the box.
Yeah.
And you have to buy from trusted sellers and you have to know that you're buying boxes from a case that have been, you know, shuffled or whatnot. It's the same in the Pokemon market. If you find a single booster box that's sale, I'm like actually really skeptical now because you know there's one alt art per case. So who's just like someone buys a case, opens the first box, pulls the alt art. You know there's no more alt arts in the other 5. You on-sell the other 5 boxes, go buy another case. There'd be people out there that would be doing that type of
100%
stuff.
there's people out there that do that.
Like,
bro.
just because like you or I don't do that stuff doesn't mean people aren't. So
No.
I don't think this is the worst thing that's happened.
Definitely not. Definitely not. But the point is that it is going to happen and it's here to stay. This isn't a fad.
Yeah.
It's not just over because people stopped talking about it. Like it was pumping the Facebook pages for like a week and then people just moved on to bloody 151 UPCs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a real thing.
For sure.
And the manufacturers at some point will have to step up and come to the party and see how they can change it.
No, I like it.
To round out that interview, no, that's basically it because I've already covered off what the services and stuff are that are provided. So, yeah, CT scanning. Interesting.
I'm glad we did a more of a deep dive into it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the beautiful thing about this, right? Like from the last time we spoke about to now, there's more information, more things come to light.
Yep.
And that's what we're here to do is to provide those updates.
Yeah. Now let's lift the mood and go over to the hobby heroes. All right, I think we've got 4 callers today, Kearns.
Huge.
I think it's 4. Could be 3. I don't know. I'm just going to hit the buttons and we're going to see what comes out.
G'day, Lee and Dean. It's lunch here. I just had a question. You both play different TCGs, like Kearnsy plays Flesh and Blood and Dino plays One Piece. But I'm just curious, what is it about those 2 TCGs that attract you to play that and that, you know, you're not playing like Pokemon competitively or say Disney or Star Wars? Like, I'm curious to know about what is it about those 2 TCGs that keep you interested in playing it. Cheers, blokes. Keep up the good work.
Lunchbox.
Yeah, love him.
Lunchbox Lock TV.
Make sure you go give him a follow on
Absolute
Instagram.
ledge.
He's huge. We're going to share his Instagram. We'll share it right there. Go check him out.
Yeah.
What a great question. Obviously, listening to a lot of episodes knows you're a big One Pla fan. I love my fab. For me, the 2 things are the people that I get to play with every week are just absolutely amazing. They're so cool. I think
what drew you to that game though?
It was the artwork. The artwork drew me to Flesh and Blood.
Right.
So,
because remember me punching you verbally in the face for years, saying you need to play a TCG. Stop collecting them. Because I started playing MetaZoo when it came out, and that's what brought me back into playing TCGs.
yeah.
And I remember teaching you, and you were very sort of blasé, kind of half-ass, having a crack at it. And I was like, man, trust me, if you find a game and you actually dive into it and play it, you're going to love it and enjoy it.
Yeah. And Fab was that. It was the artwork.
Yeah.
Big World of Warcraft. I know Lunchbox is a big World of Warcraft fan as well.
Yeah.
Just the artwork was like the same thing. I got nostalgia from that.
Yeah.
And then after that drew me in, created some like really cool memories with like some really nice cards from Fab. I was able to start playing And my second game was against the national champion, and I got a 45-minute lesson on how to play. Like it was just it was so awesome. So I'm not going anywhere. Fab for me is king and will always stay there.
Well, even I'm starting to. I like Fab more now at the moment than previous. Just from an outsider looking in, Misty, part of the Miss Vale, 6 set.
Yep.
Rosetta about to come out, 6 set.
Looks so
like
good.
Now the cards look more like what I kind of like, I guess, the sort of splashing in that anime kind of artwork, which is something I never thought I'd really like. And I kind of do.
He's getting
weird,
around
man.
it.
Yeah. Because, for me to answer my portion of that question, I haven't watched One Piece. Like, I've told people that I've watched a recap of One Piece and I've watched the live action on Netflix, but I'm by no means a long-serving One Piece fan of the anime. Will Swaino, one of my buddies, he and I used to play Metazu religiously. And then as Metazu started to taper off, he started playing One Piece, and I just wasn't interested at first. And then Metazu died, and I needed to find something that I wanted to play. So Swaino was like, just give it a go. I did, and I loved it. I love the way the game plays. I love Bandai's R&D around the game. It's really good. It's just a really fun game. I enjoy it. I can pick up a different deck every week like I have been in recent times and get whomped, but still just have fun because they're different combos and different interactions. And, I love that ability. I don't have to play the same deck all the time. I can change it up and keep it fresh and do whatever. And the thing that I think has kept me in playing One Piece is the community in particular. The one that we have at Luna is just phenomenal. They've just got a really good group of guys, all different age groups, demographics, different parts of, Melbourne. It's just been bang on.
Yeah, between Luna and car park games, you're sorted, mate.
Sorted, mate. Car park games at D23 launches.
Yeah. Thanks for the question, big fella.
Thanks, Locke.
Hello, lads. Love the podcast. And happy Father's Day, Dean. Just curious to hear what you guys feel about the CT scanning that's going on in especially the high-end sports card boxes, what you feel that means going forward for sealed wax and, any other releases coming out soon. Love your work. Bye.
Big Benny. Timed that one well.
Should have inserted his question and then done it. He would have got a 25-minute answer.
Oh, absolutely. Be like, this episode's dedicated to Big Benny. But yeah, so as you would know by now, Benny, getting to this point of the episode, how we sort of feel. And just to sort of reiterate it again, I think CT scanning is here to stay, because it will never become redundant, because there is this period of, say, 30 odd years where product was created that is scannable. And I think moving forward, manufacturers will step up to the plate and they will come up with a product or a concept or packaging that will eliminate the current ability to scan. And, whether the technology succeeds that, we'll just have to wait and see. You got anything to add there, bro? Or?
No, we covered it off. Thanks for the question, man. I love the timing. We had this a few weeks ago as well.
Yeah.
Where I think it was Nikki called in and had a question that was just like related to, it was like perfect timing.
Bang on.
We're all thinking the same thing.
But thanks, Big Ben, and happy Father's Day to you and all the other dads out there.
G'day, lads. Swano here. A question for you about One Piece TCG. As you can probably agree, it's been really great now to see stock availability for a decent price. So obviously the popularity's just growing and growing, and being able to get now most sets for a decent price is so good for gameplay and for collectors alike. So, and obviously with PRB coming out in a few months, that's going to get a lot of this expensive staples in the hands of players, which is just such a good thing for the gameplay scene. Yeah. Real question though is OP9. There's been obviously spoilers, and we've got 5 different manga rares, which is insane. I think I wanted to know, I guess, what's your impression of that? How's it going to compare to OP5, which had the 3 different mangas? Do you think any of them are going to be the same price as that elusive manga Luffy? And stock as well. Like, do you think because of those 5 mangas, is stock going to be hard to come by again, or are we going to see the same issue that we did with OP5 at the start, or do you think now we're in that sweet spot and things are going to be hunky dory from now on? Yeah, overall, just love to hear your opinion on it. Cheers, lads. Bye.
Swino with that sweet accent.
Isn't it just the best?
Oh, God, I love it.
It's the best.
I love it.
I've got to also say, before we get stuck into the question, Swano has some of the hottest hands when it comes to One Piece. I feel like he's one of the first blokes.
He's done all right.
He's one of the first blokes that always pulls the manga up.
Yeah, he does all right.
So as far as 5 in OP09, he'll chase him down pretty quickly.
Yeah, no, he does all right.
From an outsider looking in, I know when One Piece really kicked off at the start, how frustrating it was. I'll talk on the availability side of things first. I know how frustrating it was for a lot of people to get their hands on product, and the cost of the boxes even on like live streams were north of $300 a box.
Yeah.
So from a collectability, from a player standpoint, it's great to see distribution has improved and people can actually get their hands on product and enjoy it, because longevity in a game, if no one can get it at a reasonable price, people will just lose interest. So.
Exactly. No, and Bandai did a really good job of recognizing that. And they reprinted 05 and 06 and got far more product into people's hands. So OP05 at the peak was like $500 a box. Now it sits at like $250-ish, $220 to $250, which is still above RRP. And then the OP01, they did a small, what I still believe is new old stock, like a restock of that, because a lot of shops only got like a case, if they were lucky, of 01 and 02. And those boxes went down from about $700 to $450-ish, which is great though, because it means, people could get their hands on it. And then like Swano mentioned, there's a set coming out in November called PRB, which is Premium the Best. And what they did was take a bunch of very playable cards from the earlier sets and current sets that are high value and reprinted them so that it brings the value down, again, just in terms of, from a collector aspect, it's not, Bandai don't really make games for you to make money. They make games for people to play. And a lot of people make money playing One Piece, not really necessarily collecting and sitting on the boxes or the cards. That said, though, the manga cards are insanely hard to pull and they do hold their value. And even with the reprint of OP05, the manga Luffy in particular has had no price correction. If anything, it's probably gone up.
Yep.
Because it's still just like the poster boy, the most popular character. But to answer your question, Swan, in regards to OP09, I very much think it'll be a imitation of OP05. OP05 had 3 manga rares in it because it was the first anniversary set. OP09 is technically the second anniversary set, which is why they have 5 mangas, 4 normal mangas and a gold manga for the first time. So I think that set will be super popular. It's got a lot of playable cards in it. It's got a lot of collectible aspect. I think it will be affordable. I think they will print enough. They kind of know where their demand sits right now, Bandai. I don't think they want to reprint anything else in terms of old sets again. I think now they're just going to ensure that their print runs are sort of correct and meet the demand. And then they'll continue to do premium sets where they can reprint playable cards that people need to keep the cost of the game just, down. Like even you look at like, say, a max rarity Enel deck, which is like what I played at regionals. I didn't play max rarity, but I played the deck. The value of all the cards in that probably sits at like $2,500. You can play the normal deck, like min rarity, for like maybe $400, $500. When the reprints of Katakuri come out, that deck goes down by like maybe $100. That's it.
Yeah.
Like it's not knocking value off, right? It's just making certain things more accessible because they actually want this game to have longevity and continue to be played so it can, keep moving.
Yeah, for sure. It's something we've seen in other TCGs as well. We had the history series from Flesh and Blood.
Yep.
Where there's a card in there, Command and Conquer, and they're about $100 each. You need
C&Cs. Even I know what those are.
C&Cs. You need 3 in a deck, so $300. The reprints, you could get them, a little bit cheaper, around that $70, $75 mark, but it never hurt the originals.
Yeah.
It just helped get cards into people's hands.
Yeah, and keeps the game alive and moving, especially if it's something that you need.
Yeah.
You absolutely need.
For sure.
So thanks, Swano. Call in at any time, mate. Miss that, boys.
Hey guys, with the upcoming release of Sorcery's second set, just wanted to get your opinion on the fact they are only planning to do one set per calendar year. Keep up the good work, guys.
Matty C, all the homies today.
Man, that's a good bunch.
That's a good bunch of blokes.
That's four of the best right there.
That is four of the best. Love your work, boys. And Matty coming in clutch because Arthurian Legends is around the corner. That's coming out in October, and it's only the second set Sorcery's ever released. And it irks me because I love the game. Love the way it plays. I'm still going to teach you at some point after I give myself a bit of a refresher because it's been a minute.
As I said, it's a long time between drinks.
Love the artwork. I've got the what they call the Alchemy 9, which is like the 9 most powerful cards out of base set. I've got them all slabbed like up there on display that you can't see. Like I love it. I love it. But it does irk me that they think longevity is going to be plausible releasing one set a year. Pokemon release a lot of sets. Some are good and some are shit. But that's okay because it's not too far between drinks. If from a bad one to a good one and vice versa. Sorcery are putting so much pressure on themselves to ensure that each release they have to hit it out of the park because they can't afford to have a bad one if they're going to wait 12 months to give you a good one.
Sure.
So Arthurian Legends and its release and what happens will dictate the future of that game, whether it is successful or it joins the pile with a bunch of games that had great potential and just didn't meet the right marks. So I'm excited for October, but also nervous because originally their booster boxes were 36 packs and the entry price was about $220 a box. And then Arthurian Legends, the next set, is 24 booster packs, and the price is still $220 a box. So that's already rubbed a few people the wrong way. It'll just be interesting to see. I really hope it succeeds. Do not get me wrong. I love Sorcery and I want it to succeed. But Matty made a good point. One set a year, is it going to be enough? No other game does it because it's even from a business aspect, how are you going to survive if you're only selling 500,000 boxes a year? Or like even if your print runs $1 million, how is a company going to survive long term by having income off one set a year?
Yeah.
It asks more questions than it answers.
I'd love to have someone from Sorcery come on and talk us through.
Yeah.
the kind of
We
framework.
will. We will, for sure.
Because, I think it becomes to a point where I just lose interest.
Yeah.
Like you said, you've got to go touch up on how to play again. It's been that long. You know, even video games, if there's 12 months between video games, they have updates and things change every month. There's an update or new character or new shooting style in 2K, whatever it is, those things happen.
Yep.
And in TCG, if you don't have new cards, new sets, just kind of sits there.
That's just the way it is right now as well. Like, that's where the world is. People want to know.
I wonder if there's a risk mitigation to that though. Like the fact that they are doing one set. If it's a home run every time and it's like, okay, here's your home run, go buy your 4 booster boxes and some of your blister packs or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you enjoy the product and you're 2 from 2, you're going to come back next year.
Yeah.
Again. So it's even though it's something we haven't seen yet, it still might work. It might be a risk mitigation to start off with.
Yeah.
But, me personally, I need more consistency.
No, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying in terms of we will find out in October because, we'll know and we'll cover it. But thanks, Matty, Swano, Benny and Lockie, absolute legends, calling in the show. Guys, make sure you call in. We've always got the link in the description. It is the Speak Pipe link. It literally takes you there. You put your name in, you leave a message, and then we put you on the show. It's that easy. I seriously don't understand why we don't have 1 billion calls. We get a lot, but I would like 1 billion.
1 billion phone
calls. So that wraps that up. Let's move into the old Hobby Rumble.
Dino. One job.
Actually, I have many jobs. Don't you dare sit there and say I have one
On
job.
this instance, one job. Tell the people what we're doing this week for the Hobby Rumble.
This week we are running it back. We're going to replay the one from 2 episodes ago in episode 11 where we discuss Lugia or Ho-Oh because I didn't put up the poll after the episode. So nobody was able to vote. And by the time I noticed, it was like 2 days ago, I was like, I'm not going to put it up now. So I just didn't. And yeah, so here is the Rumble from 2 weeks ago. This is a battle for the ages. These are 2 of the big boys.
Yeah.
I am Ho-Oh.
And I am Lugia.
Yeah. Big old seagull over there.
The reason I'm Lugia Dino is because Lugia is like the mother of Pokemon.
Yeah.
She is a Pokemon that...
Lugia is a dude.
Lugia is a female.
No.
Lugia is?
No.
Yeah. Takashi Shuck, rest in peace, the artist.
Yeah.
Before he passed away, he told the story of Pokemon forced Lugia to be a male, but they officially changed it. So when we were growing up, yes, Lugia was like in the Pokedex as a male.
It's also a masculine-looking Pokemon.
Lugia is female. Anyway, regardless of that,
It's a seagull.
she is the mother of the legendary birds, Zapdos, Articuno, Moltres.
So
She's the
what?
guardian of them.
So what?
How cool is that? 3
Yeah.
of the iconic legendary birds.
Yeah, let me one up you, pal.
Lugia
All right?
controls them.
What's the first Gen 2 Pokemon you ever saw? Anyone ever saw?
The first Pokemon we ever saw was Ho-Oh
Correct. Thank you.
in the show.
That's it. Hobby
Flying
Rumble over. Ho-Oh also is credited with the resurrection of Entei, Suicune, and Raikou.
Not as cool as the birds.
Cooler.
Nowhere near it.
Yeah, cooler.
Cool. You jump on their back and go overseas. Can't. I'll jump on the bird's back, fly
Kens,
overseas.
Tell me
Easy.
how you're holding on to an electric spiky Zapdos or an on-fire Moltres or an ice-cold Articuno. You can't sit on any of them and fly anywhere.
I've got
pal.
Targaryen blood on me,
No,
so
you don't.
Moltres is fine.
No, you don't. No,
There's
no,
a reason.
no, you don't.
There's a reason the Pokemon movie 2000 had Lugia in it as the main Pokemon, because Lugia is just way more superior than Ho-Oh.
Nah. Ho-Oh is a symbol of hope and positivity, mate. I feel like I'm always the one on that side of the fence. You just back the wrong horse.
Not backing the wrong horse here. Pokemon didn't back the wrong horse. The frequency of Lugia through the shows is over double that of Ho-Oh.
In Pokemon lore, Ho-Oh is meant to be the guardian of not just Pokemon, but a global protector. That's why you can see its rainbow-colored wings from anywhere in the planet.
But you know where you can't see it? Anywhere over the ocean. Lugia is the guardian of the sea.
Oh,
The guardian of the skies.
massive seagull-looking bird
You
that
can't
lives
just
in
keep
the
calling
ocean.
it a seagull.
What a seagull
Can
sound
you
like?
talk to? Can you? That's not bad. I'll give you that. I'll give you props on that. If I was to sit there and talk with Lugia, I'd be able to telepathically talk to Lugia and understand. You can't do that with Ho-Oh. You can't. You can't have a conversation with
Because
Ho-Oh.
you're not supposed to be able to talk like directly to a god.
So Lugia is a god.
No, Ho-Oh is a god. That's why you can't have a convo with it. Its mystery, its rarity, its elusive nature, all these things enhance it actually being so legendary, like the true legendary Pokemon. I mean, the fact that you've got these Pokemon in threes here, there, and everywhere, but then in the first season of Pokemon, you see it's episode 1, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Literally the first Pokemon that you actually see in the show.
when he's walking to Oaks. I'm fairly sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is Ho-Oh.
Yeah.
Game over.
You also see Rhydon or not Rhydon. You see a Gen 2, not Rhydon.
Oh, Donphan.
Donphan. You
Yeah,
also
you
see
do.
Donphan as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So look, we could sit here and back and forward all day, all night, but I want to see what the people think.
Mm.
Are you guys simps and going for Lugia? Or are you actual fans? I'm going for Ho-Oh.
Neo Genesis Lugia all day, baby.
All right. Well, now that you've seen that again for the second time, please do go to the Instagram and vote because the poll will be up, guaranteed. So Ho-Oh for the win. Ho-Oh for the win.
Lugia.
Massive seagull. No good.
Just one more.
No good. But all right. So yeah, guys, please do get over and follow us on Instagram. That is _hobby_pod. TikTok.
_hobby_pod as well.
It's like
It's
created that way. Yeah. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Please tell your friends about us. Get us out there. We want to be able to share more news with more people. It's more fun. We get to do more together. Thank you again for everybody that listens. We love you all. Kearns, you got anything else to add?
I just want to say a big thank you to everyone that's tuned in so far on the journey. Have a great week. Is that enough? Is that good?
yeah, it's better than what you usually do. But anyway, guys, wheels up and we are out of here. We will catch you next time on the Hobby Podcast.